Okay, so this is just the GL alone. I'm just going to go through some of these things that I mean, each section will be AP, AR. I'll go into all the new functionality, but this is just focused on the GL. So we have a brand new session for transaction entry. In Baan 5, you had the maintain transaction screen where everything comes from, and now you have the new transaction entry defaults. So what that does for you is that you can set up security so that based on your role, you only have the transaction types that go with your role. So in the case of AP, for example, we set it up so that the AP folks in India there could only do purchase invoices and corrections, but they couldn't do journal entries and other types of transactions. So for a multi-site environment, you guys have lots of companies. So there's a lot of cross-company processing sessions that are there now that allow you to close periods. You can finalize across companies. So there's batch sessions for that. You can map and post integrations across different companies. So you can actually have one mapping scheme that covers the entire organization, and then you can map and post for all the companies if you want to. Then you have the finalization process. Before in Baan 5, you could finalize a bunch of batches, but if there was an error in one of the batches, that it would hang up the whole finalization process. Now it will go ahead and finalize the ones that are good, and then it just skips over the ones that are bad and allows you to finalize them later. We've got reversal of a finalized entry, which is nice because if you went ahead and finalized an entry in Baan 5, your only option is to actually do a reversal manually of that transaction to wipe it out. With the reverse finalized entry session, you can actually reverse that automatically, and it gives you an audit trail of the reversal. So it actually does more transactions to reverse, and then it allows you to create a copy of it and modify the copy and finalize that. So let me just pop over there. Well, actually, just let me go through the list, and then I will pop over and show you some of these things. The recurring reversing entries, in Baan 5, you had the option to create recurring entries so that you could set them up, and it's a static thing where you set the entry up and you finalize it, and then you put instructions out to do it each month. But the problem with it was that you couldn't change those entries. So a lot of those entries would change from month to month, and you'd have to, you'd have to go ahead and set up new ones for subsequent months. So this one here, you can actually set it up so that you finalize it, you create the entries for a month or however long where they're not changing, and then you can actually change them, and you could change them every month if you want to. And that actually goes for journal vouchers. You can also use it for purchase invoices and sales invoices, and those are cost invoices. Then you have the integration period type, which means that you can, before you had to close the whole GL if you wanted to stop the entries. If you're going through your close process, you had to shut down the general ledger, but you might have more integration transactions coming through. So you really wanted to shut down, you didn't want to shut down the whole GL to prevent more integration entries. You just wanted to shut down integrations. So what they've done is they've split out the integration as a separate module so that, right at the end of the period, you can shut down integration so that no new ones can come through, and then you can wait on the GL. We have a whole new GL account matching, and what that is that you can have, let's say you had an employee advance, and you want to see that the employee advance getting paid. So you want to see the reversal entry, and you want to match those two. Now you can go to a session and actually match those two together and say that they're matched and finalized. So that really helps with reconciliation. And okay, so dimension accounting is a massive new area. So in Baan 5, you had the capability to do essentially a P&L by dimension. So you could do your P&L by customer or item group or department, but you couldn't do the balance sheet accounts. The problem was that you couldn't dimension your control accounts, which is your AP and your AR, and you couldn't do tax all the way, and you couldn't do retained earnings. So they've changed that now so that you can really get a full divisional balance sheet as well as a P&L.